INEC distributes sensitive election materials to states and local governments ahead of Saturday's elections. Police order restriction of movement, ban VIP aids, escort for Saturday's election. Labour Party senatorial candidate gunned down in Enugu, 48 hours to election. And on the foreign scene, Israel bombs Gaza after rocket fire, deadly Nablus raid. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. Ahead of Saturday's presidential and National Assembly elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has begun the distribution of sensitive materials across the 23 local government areas of Kaduna State. While distributing the materials, the Commission assured Nigerians of its readiness to deliver free, fair, credible and transparent elections.
Political parties' representatives, as well as international and local election observers, were at the Central Bank branch in the state to monitor the dispatchment of the election materials under heavy security presence. The State Administrative Secretary, INEC Kaduna State, Awal Mashi, says the Commission has received sensitive materials for 4.3 million eligible voters, noting that none will be disenfranchised in the state.
We have received material for the three sets of elections, the presidential and the National Assembly elections. With respect to the figure, it is a well-known fact that Kaduna State has 4.3 million registered voters. So we should expect to have a similar number because we do not wish to disenfranchise anybody. Everyone that has been registered in Kaduna is going to cast their ballot come election day, 25th of February.
He stated that they have received cash from the Apex Bank for the smooth running of elections across the 23 local governments, assuring that there is no cause for alarm as they have provided security at all polling units.
In receipt of some of the monies we will require for the execution of the election, not for all aspects of the election. For instance, the corpus that we are going to engage, we intend to give them cash for some of their allowances, not all their allowances. Again, with respect to transportation, we've engaged the NURTW and NATO, we have talked with them and we have agreed with them that we are going to give them part of their money in cash.
Some political parties' representatives commended the electoral umpire for their readiness to deliver transparent elections in history of Nigerians.
So far, so good. We can say INEC has done well and will continue to monitor closely to ensure that this election is the most free and fairest ever conducted in this country, so that the outcome will not only be acceptable, but everybody will be happy with it.
Well, from what I've seen, it seems INEC is very serious. They seem to be prepared for the election. Even the ballot papers are here already. So I think we're going to give them pass mark for the preparation so far.
Well, as we can see, all of us here, it seems like INEC is very okay and ready for 2023 general elections. At least all of us are impressed, all the political parties.
INEC, while insisting that BVAS machines will be used across all polling units, added that it is positive no voter will be denied their right to vote. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And still on INEC's readiness for Saturday's election, the Independent National Electoral Commission has commenced the distribution of sensitive materials to other states across the country. Now in this report, we take you to some states where our reporters captured the distribution exercise. Let's take a look. In Ekiti State, the sensitive materials were being sorted at the time of this report for distribution at the CBN premises in Ado Ekiti, the state capital. The arrangements of the materials for the election are taking place under the watch of the State Resident Electoral Commissioner, party representatives, monitors and observers. Men of the Nigeria Police and other uniformed men were also within the premises to ensure maximum security. In Borno State, the resident electoral commissioner Muhammad Ibrahim Magaji said the commission was prepared for the Saturday exercise as sensitive and non-sensitive materials for the elections had already arrived the state, while over 21,000 ad hoc staff are ready to conduct the voting of 2.5 million registered voters in the state. He added Marte, Kukawa, Guzamala and Abadam local government areas will be voting at super camps due to insecurity.
Of course, you have Guzamala. In Guzamala, the authority is Nganze. So elections are going to, the elections that we are going to conduct in such places, normally it is a super camp. All of them who can vote in that local government, they assemble in a place. When they assemble, we allocate their wards and PUs there and then.
In Zamfara State, the distribution exercise has commenced ahead of the Saturday 25th February presidential election and National Assembly elections. The distribution is being carried out at the Central Bank of Nigeria in Gusau, the state capital, amidst tight security. Representatives of various political parties, security agents and the media were handy to witness the exercise.
Our plan is that we will start with the local government that are very far away. That axis. Those are the ones that we'll start with. We will bring them out of this place, and then local government by local, and we'll isolate those for the farthest. It will be, and then we'll call the vehicle. They will enter, and then they will now be loaded, and then they will hit the road fast.
Nigerians are hopeful that with logistics sorted ahead of the polls, the Commission will deliver an election that will reflect the wishes of the people. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission in Gombe State has taken custody of sensitive election materials from the Central Bank of Nigeria. Speaking to Newsman, the resident electoral commissioner in the state, Umar Ibrahim, said the electoral body is ready to conduct free, fair and credible elections.
Preparation for the 2022 general elections for the presidential and national assembly, which is coming up on the 25th. Here we are at the Central Bank only, distributing and monitoring the distribution of the sensitive materials. The materials have been distributed to the various local government areas, which we have 11 in the state. And when the EOs are here, they move the materials down to their various local governments.
And presidential candidates of political parties vying for the office of president in Saturday's election have signed a peace accord to accept the outcome of election results devoid of any violence. All the candidates converged on the International Conference Center Abuja on Wednesday for the landmark occasion. APC's Bola Tinubu, Labour Party's Peter Obi, PDP's Atiku Abubakar and NNPP's Rabiu Kwankwaso were the leading candidates that signed the accord. The first accord was signed in September last year prior to the commencement of campaigns to commit the candidates to a peaceful campaign. This signing is the second and last to be signed by the candidates and is to enlist their commitment to a peaceful conduct of the 2023 presidential election. President Muhammadu Buhari, who will not be on the ballot this time, called on those saddled with the responsibility of conducting the election to allow the electorate to vote freely. The Nigeria Police Force on Wednesday announced a total restriction of all vehicular movements during the February 25th elections from 12 a.m. to 6 p.m. Force spokesman Olumuyiwa Adejobi in a statement said the restriction would be observed nationwide. He, however, said the restriction order exempted those on essential services such as INEC officials, election observers, ambulances and firefighters responding to medical emergencies. He said the restrictions will help to ensure proper public order, management, the safety of electorates and effective policing. He said the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, had also barred security aides and escorts from accompanying their principals to polling booths and collation centers during the election. He urged active electorates to be law-abiding and turn out en masse to exercise their franchise. He enjoined citizens to shun vote buying, vote selling, hate speech, misinformation and disinformation, snatching of ballot boxes and other criminal acts. 17,401 policemen are deployed to man strategic locations in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, during Saturday's presidential and National Assembly elections. FCT Commissioner of Police Sadiq Abubakar said this during the command's show of force with other sister security agencies on Thursday. Noel Sampson reports.
The purpose of the show of force exercise is to reassure residents and will-be voters that security operatives are on ground to endure violence-free elections.
The show of force is to show miscreants or those who are planning to disrupt the election process that we are ready. And we are not going to leave any stone unturned until we see that the election is conducted peacefully. We have a total number of about 17,401 officers and men that will participate in the election. And when we are talking of the morale, you can see that. And some of you have also seen when I addressed other officers from the command. This is just a joint task force. We have others from various divisions, from various departments.
The commissioner also reassures FCT residents of the command's determination to provide security coverage during and after elections.
We have divided the Federal Capital Territory into 9 sectors, and that all the suburbs and all those terrains you think that cannot be reached are under these sectors, and we have made arrangements on how to reach all of them. We also have officers from various divisions and area commands who might not come here. All those who are coming here are those who will reinforce what we have already on the ground. We have always given our telephone numbers, and the telephones are always, the numbers are there. You can call 24 hours. That we have been doing even before the election. Even myself, you can reach me at any time. You can reach any of the officers. We have divided the Federal Capital Territory into 9 sectors. And all the sectors are going to be manned by assistant commissioners of police, and that the numbers will be made available. So if you have any query or any explanation, or you want to give us any information, the numbers will be there. The Inspector General of Police and of course heads of other security agencies have made a lot of provision, a very convenient and comfortable arrangement for the welfare of our officers. So I think that will not cause any problem.
The police will restrict movement of people except those on essential duties until after the elections. Noel Sampson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And still talking elections, politicians have been called upon to stop engaging youth in political thuggery and drug abuse to achieve their selfish interests. The commandant of the Zamfara State Anti-Thuggery Committee, Bello Bakiaswa, made the call during the final rehearsal of 2,500 newly recruited operatives ahead of the February 25th and March 11th general elections. The commandant appealed to residents of the state, irrespective of political or religious affiliations, to support the committee in the fight against thuggery and drug abuse in the state. He warned youth to desist from engaging in illicit activities that can lead to unrest in the state, as anti-thuggery operatives will not spare anyone found guilty.
I'm appealing to them to continue supporting this agency to succeed in its assignment to ensure maintenance of law and order in the state. We call for the newly recruited operatives. You should be law-abiding, and you should know that you are maintaining law and order in the society. You should be good citizen of Zamfara State, an ambassador of anti-thuggery at anywhere you find yourself. And also, you should know you are representing the state government in its fights, in its zeal to bringing sustainable security in the state. I want to commend people of the state for their support. Well wishes and prayers to the agency. No doubt, the activity of agency has been succeeding at the public activities, arms bearing, drug abuse, purification of arms, armed robbery, bomb snatching in the state has
advised the newly recruited operatives to be good ambassadors of the committee and state at large by carrying out their responsibilities in line with the law. And ahead of Saturday's election, the Interfaith Dialogue for Peace has called on Nigerians and other stakeholders to actively participate in the process to ensure a hitch-free poll. The group, which made the call in Abuja during a news briefing, explained that the key issues, such as the current cash crunch, security challenges, among others, could negatively affect the elections if stakeholders do not come together to play their part.
Electoral Commission offices countrywide, as well as the polling units and collation centers. An important step toward mitigating electoral violence is to curb the impunity that emboldens perpetrators. The judiciary should speedily punish those behind election violence, while political parties and their supporters should tone down inflammatory rhetorics. The government must ensure a transparent and efficient supply and distribution of petroleum products throughout the country to ease the sufferings of Nigerians. The central bank should boost its supply of the new Naira notes to commercial banks. Anti-corruption agencies should intensify their watch over banks to ensure that they distribute the new notes for public use rather than hold them. Nigerians are reminded to document and report threat or any threats to the elections to the relevant security and elections officials, and to remember that we are Nigerians and Nigeria is the only country we have.
As faith-based leaders, all we are asking for is for electorate to conduct themselves in a manner that will result into producing a credible candidate, a leader that will govern this country, that will turn around events that we have experienced that are bitter. See, as a nation, we are multi-religious. We are a people that we believe in issue of peace. And the holy books have said, blessed are they that make peace, for they will be called children of God.
The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress says the ruling party is going into the elections, which is just some days away, as a united entity, which is working to secure victory for its candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Senator Adamu, who interacted with senior editors in Abuja on Wednesday evening, said despite the number of state governors in court challenging the federal government's currency redesign policy, they are all in support of the party going into the elections, as they could not work against themselves. The APC national chairman, however, admitted that despite the soundness of the policy, it may have been ill-timed, while the implementation of the policy was not up to par. Nevertheless, Senator Adamu believes that there is no cabal in the presidential villa working against the party, while he goes ahead to project that the party's flag bearer will deliver on the mandate given to him by Nigerians if he is elected president and will not rule by proxy.
I don't see any governor working against the party in the forthcoming election. Quite a number of these governors got carried away by the pressure from the citizenry towards the people that they govern. And there's nothing wrong in a leader identifying himself with the problem of his people. I see that only in that light. I don't think it's aimed at showing discontent with the party. The party is not responsible for, excuse me, monetary policies of the country. We have the executive, we have the legislature, and the judiciary. The party is a vehicle through which you ride to power, to a position of authority.
Still with us on Trust TV News Update. Still ahead. We'll show you the intervention in the fight against insecurity. Details of this and more after the break. Just stay with us.
Nigeria na we country, APC na the party, na one man be our choice.
At last, the elections are here. Let's turn out en masse on election day and vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as President of Nigeria for a renewed hope and a better Nigeria. Vote APC, the party that shows a broom.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now let's take another look at our top stories. INEC distributes sensitive election materials to states and local governments ahead of Saturday's election. And police order restriction of movement, ban VIP aids, escorts for Saturday's election. And moving on to other news now, the candidate of the Labour Party in Enugu East Senatorial District, Oyibo Chukwu, has been killed barely 48 hours to the election. The candidate was killed while returning from a campaign rally. He was murdered alongside 5 Labour Party supporters who were also burnt down in their vehicle. The governorship candidate of the Labour Party, Chijioke Edeoga, confirmed the unfortunate incident, adding that his party members are being targeted for assassination by other political parties who felt threatened by the rise of the Labour Party in the state. The Enugu State Police Command is yet to react to the incident. President Muhammadu Buhari has launched over 300 vehicles and state-of-the-art security equipment and gadgets procured by the Coalition Against COVID-19 to aid the fight against insecurity. President Buhari launched the equipment on Wednesday before the commencement of the National Security Council meeting ahead of Saturday's presidential and National Assembly elections. The president said he was proud to lead the country at this time of his existence because of the enormous contribution of the private sector to fight societal ills. Kehinde Amodu reports.
The Coalition Against COVID-19 is a private sector-led organization in Nigeria established to assist the government in combating the coronavirus disease. It was launched on March 26, 2020, following an announcement by the governor of the central bank, Godwin Emefiele. But after successfully delivering on its mandate by mobilizing over 82 billion naira for medical supplies, construction of isolation centers, feeding of over 10 million people, risk communication and advocacy, the coalition is going a step further. There is 12 billion naira worth of security equipment being launched at this event by President Buhari.
I am exceedingly honored to be the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. At this time, I am gratified to have the honor of leading a country whose private sector willingly galvanizes itself to raise funds to enthusiastically support the government in resolving social ills. I am proud to say that there's nowhere in the entire world except in Nigeria where the private sector has voluntarily come together to assist the government efforts.
Despite being the final intervention by COVID to the government and the people of Nigeria, there is no doubt that it is a huge commitment that has been made and has made a huge impact on Nigerians in the last 2 years.
This donation marks the end of the COVID initiative as we wind down what has been deemed as example of patriotism, solidarity, and efficiency in terms of partnership between the public and private sectors. This is a lesson in the power of collaboration for a worthy cause.
The coalition CACOVID is a good example of what Nigeria must become: a nation of patriotic solidarity of individuals and cooperation and effective collaboration of the public and private sectors.
The words of President Buhari aptly captures the value of this intervention. He notes that such a patriotic gesture is proof that nationalistic determination is still alive in Nigeria in the face of enormous challenges pervading the world and the country. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
Now for a look at the foreign scene, where Israel has bombed the Gaza Strip after Palestinian fighters launched several rockets from the besieged coastal enclave amid tensions over an Israeli raid that killed at least 11 Palestinians in the occupied West Bank city of Nablus. The attacks early on Thursday sent plumes of black smoke rising over one of the targeted locations north of Gaza City. Hours earlier, rockets fired from the Gaza Strip lit up the night sky and triggered sirens in the Israeli cities of Sderot and Ashkelon. There were no immediate reports of casualties. Palestinian witnesses said they saw at least 8 rockets fired, while the Israeli military put the number of projectiles at 6. The Israeli military said its air defense system intercepted 5 of the rockets, while the 6th fell in an uninhabited area. No Palestinian group has yet claimed responsibility for Thursday's rocket fire. And in sports, the 13th edition of the African Games, slated for the 4th to 19th of August 2023, has been postponed until 2024 after an agreement between the competition's major stakeholders. Ghana's efforts to host the Games has been hampered due to an impasse over marketing rights involving the African Union, the Association of National Olympic Committees of Africa, and the Association of African Sports Confederations, who are the competition's key stakeholders. The impasse was resolved on the 19th of February in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and was facilitated by the President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo. However, aside these issues, Ghana has been struggling to complete the facilities required to host the Games. The main arena for the Games at Bortiman is behind schedule, while the construction of the University of Ghana Stadium faces a similar challenge. Local Organizing Committee Chairman Kwaku Ofosu-Asare said the Games will still be called Accra 2023, despite the postponement, while a new date for the Games will be announced soon. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.